I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. It doesn't matter if you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you like me, my YouTube videos, like what I stand for, whether you give me thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter if you're family, friends, or proclaimed enemy. I greet all of you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. To all of my Muslim brothers and sisters all around the world, I greet you with the universal greetings of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Today happened to be Wednesday, February the 5th, 2020. The time being about 8:58 a.m. What I want to talk about today, basically I want to talk about black unity, bringing black unity nationwide and worldwide. On this day, I believe it would be in 1964, some 30 years later, after a white supremacist, a known white supremacist, Ku Klux Klan, murdered civil rights leader Medgar right in his driveway on June the 12th, 1963. Medgar was a World War II honorably discharged veteran. Fought for this country against Adolf Hitler to come back home to fight against, in this same country that he was fighting for, come back to fight against Ku Klux Klan, who ended up murdering him. The Klan was tried 2 times with a hung jury, all male white juries. They was hung. Somebody amongst them whites wanted wanted this Ku Klux Klan to be found guilty, but apparently he wasn't. After a couple of trials, they just dropped it. But Medgar's wife, years later, became the first chair of the NAACP, the real NAACP. Down here in Charleston, Missouri, and a lot of other places, all they do is use the name. It's no it's no national association for advancement of colored people. It's the National Association for the Advancement of Certain Colored People, or certain people. But back to the message at hand. This is Black History Month. Most of these people down here that I be battling against, white supremacists, if the shoe fit, wear it, and sell out blacks, because there's no leaders down here in Charleston, Missouri, that's openly standing up against this injustice that's still happening. Now, take that back. You'll have a few, but you ain't gonna have the ones that you see in the newspaper. They're doing nothing. James Brown would say it real clear. A dull night, ain't nothing cutting. They just in the newspaper talking loud. It ain't saying or doing nothing to stop the injustice and the racism. But when Medgar's wife was consistent on getting a conviction, they finally convicted that white supremacist, took him to trial again some 30 years later. On this day, February the 5th, 1994, that scum, Ku Klux Klan, white supremacists, was convicted of murder and sentenced to life. But in 2000, I believe 2000 or 2001, that scum died inside of the penitentiary. Now, let me show you how racism is still going on. Now, one day before this 30-plus conviction of this white supremacist, yesterday, during President Trump's state address to the Union, did you see who he honored out of all the people in this country? Another white supremacist, Rush Limbaugh, and gave him the Medal of Freedom. And you know what he stands for: racism against blacks and Jews. Look at his history. But Rush Limbaugh made an announcement himself saying he got lung cancer. Now, you have people that Rush Limbaugh has talked about so bad. Do you think they care whether he got lung or brain cancer? But this should show you individuals that call yourselves Democrats, whether you are in the White House or anywhere else. You had a president that was a president for 8 years, Obama. Now, you can't criticize Trump. I do. But those of y'all that sit back and support what these so-called black leaders claim that they are doing, and they not helping the black community, Trump showed y'all what he about, and he might get 4 more years. God might give him 4 more years to wake up these blacks. Stop doing all this black on black killing and drug selling in our community and gang banging. Let me show you something else. The hundreds of thousands of blacks that they locked up for selling weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. Illinois just gave a count of how much money they just made in the month of January 2020. Over $40 million for selling weed. And everybody know in Cook County, all those that was approved to sell it, it was non-black, no person of color. Give you something to think about. Now, I might get a lot of thumbs down, but it keep me abreast that it's still individuals around here like those that killed Medgar Evans. If you took my life, believe me, I'm ready to go. I'm tired of seeing all of this racism and hatred in this world. I'm tired of seeing blacks killing blacks, selling blacks drugs, blacks trying to misuse blacks, especially this headquarters here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County at 700 Elm Street or 700 Cy Williams Street, where all these black Negroes that call themselves leaders and all they doing is getting money from the grants that they give, busing people, drug addicts, alcoholics, not all, to these jobs with these so-called preachers' vans halfway breaking down on the highway, don't have insurance on their drivers, nor the van, paying the drivers cash. The drivers can't even file income tax, using them. But y'all wake up. Remember what happened to Medgar Evans. Remember that scum that got convicted 30-something years later, but he ended up dying in the penitentiary. Remember that State to the Union address that Donald Trump did yesterday, February the 4th, 2020. And look who he honored. And then he found one black family that he sending one black child to college. Ain't that something? Bless that child and her mother. One black child, y'all. Wake up, y'all. Tomorrow is not promised. Rush Limbaugh get the Medal of Freedom, y'all. Look at him. I'm down here in Charleston, Missouri, 45 miles away from Rush Limbaugh's hometown. His family is in the federal courts in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. His family have a law firm in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and they represented the Lindbergh law firm represented Black Gold when I went up against them when they was calling us the N-word and putting KKK on the trash cans and saying blacks call each other the N-word, so it's okay. Why would we be offended if somebody else called us that? The Rush Limbaugh law firm lawyers told me, these people ain't gonna pay you nothing, Raymond. You the only one complaining. When I showed them they was a lie and the truth ain't in them, I didn't get much, but I got double digits. That's one thing that they know. They can't call Raymond Lewis Ivory in the N-word or bright KKK around any place where I'm at. I'm just like Harriet Tubman. You see what I'm saying? You gonna give me liberty or death. Peace be still.